Echo Fan Grey Wolf. I'm going live here and on Instagram. Okay, so this isn't going to be a long video, maybe 15 minutes at most. Alright, so I want to talk to y'all about unsafe martial artists, or unsafe martial arts rather, not unsafe martial artists. There is a thing, alright, and I want to say this while I'm on live Instagram as well as on my YouTube channel and Instagram. If you want to see the rest of this, you're going to have to go to Kung Fu Havoc number 2 to see this, because I'm only going to be on you for like maybe 5 minutes tops, because I'm going to go get in the shower and I may make a part 2 in which I'll be changing into these if I make a part 2. Alright, so you guys see me whip out these combos that I often double as tonfas, and we're up here so there's no room, and see how that happens, which is a reason why I explain shit, I do shit, which is why I don't like that move versus this move and that move. And then when I use them as commas, I explain now that they are commas. Alright? And that you don't do what I just did, because it's unsafe. Alright? For movie purposes, that look cool as shit. Same thing when I teach you about fighting with your hands bound in front of you versus fighting with your hands bound in back of you. I will make this up to you on Instagram, to redo this all over again. I will do it one day. I don't know what day I'm going to do it, but I will do it. And I often tell you all that I've been training with my hands tied behind my back since I was 12 years old, and tied in general. The reason why I tell you this before I do this, because a lot of you guys follow people who do martial arts or know really good camera tricks. Alright? Now, a lot of you guys follow the I guess he's Arabian or Iranian. I don't know where he's from, but he's like gigantic. And he's always teaching people how to snatch guns from people and stuff like that. And again, and I tell people all the time, what you see in the movies is guaranteed to either get you hurt or worse. And even though it is shown by a professional, there are some things that you should not attempt. Period. Straight up and down. You should not attempt this shit on any given Sunday. Especially if you don't have the training. Especially if you just saw this shit on TV and you think, hey, I can do that. Okay. If you're going to practice unsafe training things, especially anything that involves a firearm, first, get rid of the magazine or the clip. Clear the chamber, and then you can practice until your heart contents. But be forewarned, small disclaimer, you're going to do that shit at your own risk. Because even if you clear the chamber, but you don't clear the barrel, you can still accidentally injure yourself. And that is not cool. So you don't see me practicing with weapons of caliber. Alright? In other words, no pew pew, none of those things. Because here's the thing. If I'm going to fight you, I'm going to fight you. If you're going to shoot me or stab me, I'm going to get shot or I'm going to get stabbed. And I'm sorry, that's just the reality of it right there. But when I'm showing you weapons, like when I turn these commas into tonfa training, because they're wooden, they're not going to hurt anybody. In my hands, they're going to hurt people if I choose to use them. If I use them as commas, I'm not cutting anybody, but in the right angle, a wooden weapon can still be dangerous in the right hands. However, a lot of you guys are following people who don't tell you the truth about martial arts. They don't tell you that when you get hit with these damn things, they hurt. They don't tell you that's solid wood right there. That shit's gonna hurt. If somebody's swinging this thing at you and you don't block it, boom! You could either get hurt or beyond hurt. You also aren't going to do this in the midst of a fight, because that's going to happen. And it's not because I lost grip. It's just that you got to focus. That does nothing for you when the fight starts. Keep it real. That does nothing for you when the fight starts. You're going to need to know your blocks, your strikes. You're going to be able to have to compensate When this hand works, this hand works. When this hand works, this hand works. But when this hand doesn't work, this hand has to double up. And you're not going to do that. If you're making a movie, that's fine. There's nothing unsafe about that because you're with a trained team that's going to teach you how to not get hurt. And 9 times out of 10, the rubbers are born to be rubber or plastic, so that no one gets hurt and so that you don't stop production and so that people can continue to film and do what they need to do. Now, you follow people, I seen on Instagram, 2 videos. I can't pull them up, I don't know how, but I can discuss them and we are going to. As a veteran of the United States Army, I have to say, I probably knew more martial arts before I got there than what they were teaching us. So when they was teaching us BJJ in Delta, I sucked at BJJ. But when we used the pugil sticks, I was top dog. In Taekwondo, I knew Taekwondo before I got there. The Taekwondo that they was teaching was different just by a fraction of an inch versus the Taekwondo I already knew. The thing was, I was on profile, so they would rarely let me train. Now, here's the thing. If you're training and you're doing right and you've been taught well, keep doing that. But if you start following guys that's got like putting guns to people's head and they're doing this magical stuff, there is a god-awful good chance that you are going to get hurt. So if you're going to practice with firearms, make them a rubber one. Use the rubber plastic training ones because real weapons do disengage. And when that happens, or bullets dislodge or discharge or whatever the word I'm looking for, people get hurt. People get beyond hurt. And you don't need to do that. Alright? I am not going to teach you something that you can't use. However, in me teaching you, you also have to put in the work. You have to practice. If you don't practice, you're going to get hurt. A lot of people that you follow have been fighting in dojos and gyms. And you have to understand that everything you do in a dojo does not work outside the dojo. That's why I say 30-70. 70% of what you learn in the dojo is only going to work in that dojo. 30% of what you learn in the dojo is going to only work outside. And you're probably thinking, shouldn't that be in reverse? It should be. But it also depends on who you're being taught by. It also depends on what you get into it. If you've been in tournament fights, you know that you have to fight with control. And I'm sorry to say this, but how you practice is how you are going to fight in real life. If you are a tournament fighter, you are going to fight by tournament rules. And if you keep fighting by tournament rules, when you get out in the street, you're going to only fight by tournament rules. You're going to find yourself pulling back a lot. I was a street fighter before I was a martial artist. I understand that. From the age of 6 to 12, I was a street fighter. However, I started learning martial arts at 7, which made me a more dangerous street fighter. Alright? Because I didn't know I could use my feet until I actually learned how to use them. Now, here's the thing on that, though. When I say 70-30, I'm deadly fucking serious. That you can use outside the dojo. This block, I ain't never seen that done in a street fight. Understand? I've never seen that done in a street fight. I've also rarely seen anybody throw a hammer fist. Alright? Most time in a street fight, it's jab, jab. Jab, jab. Hook. Jab, jab. Uppercut. Jab, jab. Uppercut. You know, those are what you are taught in boxing. But those are also what you are taught in the streets. You to try to take a weapon from somebody. There is a high probability of you getting injured attempting to do that. These guys we're all following here, they're not pointing that shit out. If you want really good information, shout out to Rob, go watch McDojo Life. But I'm going to tell you, like I tell everybody else, my opinions are different from everyone else. Because I'm going to tell you the truth, and the truth is unkind. If you do not want to hear the truth, I'm probably not the guy you want to follow. But I'm the guy that's going to save your life by telling you what you can and can't do versus the people that you are following, and they're giving you these little tiny tutorials. But they're leaving off some important facts. The other guy factor is like factor number 1. You already know what you can do because you've been training. But that person may have been training and you don't know what they can do. Now, you're not me. So understand that. You're not me. I'm me. I've been training. I got two things I have to worry about. What I know and what I don't. What I know is I know what I've been trained to do. Before the Army, after the Army. I know what I can do and what I can't do and what my body is limited to now because of my hip replacement. However, you're not me and I am me. When it comes down to what the guy across the battlefield can do, you should probably have a little bit of concern. Again, you're not me. I don't have any concern because here's how this is going to work. If you're bigger than me, that means I don't have to handle you with kid gloves. That also means that I don't have to play with you. I can hurt you really bad just because of the fact that you are way bigger than me. And you're going to look at me and think, oh, he's nothing. I got this. And then you're going to get the shock of your life when you find out that a belt does not make you a good fighter. A championship does not make you a good fighter. Being able to fight makes you a good fighter. Your training makes you a good fighter. And everybody's going to contest this video, especially here on Instagram, and that's fine. And no one's really watching me on TikTok or YouTube right now because I'm kind of suspended on TikTok, but, for YouTube, I got 134 followers. People are not even really going to Kung Fu Havoc #2, even with my name change of being Echo Fan Grey Wolf. But I'm the guy that's not going to lie to you while you're following the people who aren't going to tell you the truth. I understand that. Instagram, you're going to have to go to Kung Fu Havoc #2 to see the rest of this. Everybody else, we're going to continue. And that'll work. Come on, damn it. Sorry, Kung Fu Havoc #2. As I was saying, when you follow people, which we all do, you want to run background checks, okay, that's fine. You're not going to find shit on me. Honestly, you're not. You might find some shit on Kung Fu Havoc #1, and you're going to find shit on Kung Fu Havoc #2. But outside of the YouTube thing, you're not going to find anything on me because I've never fought professionally. Outside of fighting in the streets from the age of 6 to 12, and then a couple of scrimmages when I was 15, and a few other stories that I put on there, but all those stories are true. Here's the problem. Most people don't want to hear the truth. Most people don't want to watch the truth. Most people don't want to care because they want to live in their fantasy world, and that's fine. But see, when you are on the other end of a fist coming to your face, that's when shit changes. And like I said, I'm the biggest target when I walk into a room because I'm the smallest guy, period. I'm 5'3", I'm like 125 pounds, soaking wet. So I'm the biggest target because everybody watches too much TV and they assume because I'm small that I can't hurt them. That's worked in my advantage more than you know, because deception is also a part of ninjutsu. You don't teach everybody your secrets. I don't have any secrets to teach. I will teach you what you need to know. Either you choose to listen and choose to practice, that's going to be the deciding factor on whether you survive a fight or not. And like I said, there's a lot of unsafe practices. So let's talk about the videos on Instagram that I saw. So one video was a soldier teaching another soldier how to do a judo throw and then put him in an armbar. The technique was great. The demonstration was great. Now let me tell you why I have a problem with that. Alright? You're probably thinking, how could you possibly have a problem with a soldier teaching another soldier how to do a judo throw in an armbar? Because one, the way he did it, as good as it was, the other guy had more than enough opportunity to not be thrown. And see, the thing you got to understand about a demonstration versus the real shit. They don't explain that shit to y'all when y'all following these guys that do martial arts. They don't sit here and tell you, hey, this is a demonstration and this is the possibility of what it should look like. In real life, it doesn't look like that shit at all. Because most people are going to put up more resistance than, I'm going to telegraph this punch, you're going to step this way, and you're going to step oddly instead of step evenly. So he stepped oddly. He put his farthest leg behind this guy's hip, which exposed all of him to this guy. And then he oddly judo throwed him. Okay? It was a good form. And then he went into an arm bar with his legs up here. His legs never got around the neck. It just got around his arm. And he hinged up on him. Which, again, was okay. Now, in real life, fights don't move that slow. Your opportunity to throw somebody on the ground judo style only comes if somebody's making a mistake. Or if you get the job on them. And they don't explain that. And being that I'm a veteran of the United States Army, I got every rig to speak on this shit. Because if you're going to teach if you're going to teach somebody something, then you should probably teach them something that they can use. You should probably teach them something that's going to save their fucking life versus teaching them something that's probably going to get them fucked up. Alright? There was a lot of different factors added to this because both of those guys were roughly the same size. But the guy doing all the throwing and the demonstrations was a little bit bigger than the guy he was throwing around. Which to me don't mean shit, but for all medicinal purposes, it's some things that you really need to know about fighting. You know, it's some really important stuff that you need to understand when it comes to your safety and fighting somebody bigger than you versus fighting somebody smaller than you. There are a lot of things in a fight that can go wrong before one thing goes right. And no one is telling y'all that. No one is teaching you that. But y'all not following the one guy who says it in damn near every video that I make. And that's fine. I'm not jealous. Might be a little bit angry, but I'm not jealous. Because I know how this shit works. Not everybody who you follow knows martial arts, and not everybody who you follow has actually used it outside of a dojo. And not everybody that you follow is 1,000% correct. Even I am not 1,000% correct. Sorry, text message. That is not how you spell video. Anyway, so let's move on to the second video. This is the most important video. I wish I could pull it up. So there's two men. There's an Asian man and a black man, and they're in a UFC ring. They are not fighting. They are practicing avoiding gun training. Or how to not get shot by getting shot. Okay, I'm kidding. Basically, the guy was trying to teach the guy that he could get away from the bullet. And yes, the weapon was unloaded or whatever, and it was a real firearm, which is first a big fucking no-no, and I don't even know how Instagram let that happen, but it is what it is. So the black guy has like dreadlock hair, they're in a UFC ring, and he has the Asian guy right there. Now I'm going to go from this side. This is the gun. This is my hand. You don't see my hand, right? Okay. So now I'm the black guy. The gun is pointing. The black guy goes block and step in. This is the gun. This is my hand. Now you see the hand. The black guy grabs the gun and pushes it this way. He steps in this way. What's right here? My hand. So apparently he must have missed form of martial arts which says block and counter. You've taken my gun, but you've set yourself up for whatever the hell is in my hand. It could be a knife, stab. It could be this brush, boom. It could be a comb. I don't have a comb. Oh, there it is. It could be a comb. Yes, I can kill you with a comb. Think that I can't and be proven wrong. So, now, from this point of view, at pointing at you, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. This is the gun hand. This is the hand that the guy did not see. Yet, they're a great martial artist. So, you're the Asian man with the gun. My hand is your hand for the moment. This is the hand that blocks. I push it out this way, I grab this way, and I step into your free hand. Now, I'm holding the gun with both of my hands. You have a free hand. You're going to pound the dog shit out of my face. You are not going to let me get there because you're struggling with me over this gun, but you're going to realize you have a free hand. And with your free hand, you are going to be pommeling me while I'm trying to hold your gun with both of my hands. Who you think's going to win that? The guy getting the shit beat out of him for trying to use both hands to hold the gun? Or the guy who's holding the gun with one hand and pounding the shit out of you with the other? So if you're going to teach somebody something, you want to teach them correctly. Now you may not agree with me. The guy in the video damn sure ain't going to agree with me, but in Kung Fu, we are taught to get to the outside. So if you throw this punch with your right hand, my ass needs to be over here. So if you're throwing a punch, boom, I've blocked your hand. I've broken your elbow, and I've slid through there, and I've hit you in the throat. If I can't hit that target, then I'm going to hit a fucking rib, because it's the next thing on my to-do list. Break, boom. Break, boom. This stops you from hurting me. Period. And it also puts your other hand on the far side of your body, which gives me complete control of this side of your body so that you can't do anything to me. Now, I learned this in Kung Fu and I learned this in Kempo. So if you are a mixed martial artist, you should probably know that blocking this way on the inside of my opponent's body leaves me open to a beatdown from his free hand, even if you don't have a gun. Let's just say it's just mano-y-mano. And I block and I don't throw a punch, but you throw a punch. And I don't block that shit, I'm hit. But if I block this way, break your elbow, slide down your arm and hit you in the throat, or hit you in the ribs, or hit you in the solar plexus, I got a better chance of surviving this fight than trying to block and go in to your center line where you can see it coming and you can block. And now we're blocking and countering all day. These are the people y'all are following versus following me. Does it sound like jealousy? No, but I'm going to teach you right versus teaching you wrong. Because anytime that you open yourself up to getting hit by somebody else because you decided to go, I'm going to do karate. Boom, I'm going to punch this way. You have another hand. And if you know karate, you already know you're going to block that shit. And you're going to try to counter. So we're blocking and countering. But if I know Kung Fu and you don't know anything and you're just going to straight throw mad punches, my best defense is to fuck you with your own shit. When you throw that right jab or that left jab and I get to the right side or the left side of you and break your elbows and then strike you versus blocking and trying to counter when you can do the same, I'm going to come out on top. And this is where people, but what if you're stronger? What is he stronger than you? Okay? So as my Kempo teacher used to tell me, and as my Kung Fu instructors and other martial artists used to tell me, because I'm a small man, it is not how hard you hit. It is where you hit. Let that shit sink in for a minute. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I am Echo Fang Grey Wolf. I will make a part 2 after the shower. Thank you for watching. Be seeing